Hello, YouTube. It's Candace again. I'm back for another live stream. Won't make it too long. It's just a moment to just celebrate my birthday here. Right now, we're listening to some Paul Hardcastle Sunshine extended mix. And so, as you see, I got my birthday little headband on, and I got my little sign that it flashes up in the back. I put it on my cake earlier too. So cute. I like it. I gotta hold on to it for next year or so. But yeah, went out for a little dinner, me and hubby. Nothing too special. As soon as I got home, I just went through my pajamas on. I mean, the dress I wore was really cute. I have to show a picture of it. But it was just that I didn't like the underarm part. I don't feel comfortable when things are up under my arms. I have never liked that. Never liked that at all. And I'm going to drink a little wine today. So I'm still on the 5-ounce rule still, 1 5-ounce glass of wine. So they're still not letting me, drink 2 glasses of wine yet. So the sunshine. I'm going to do half of this. Sunshine. All right, I did half. So that means this is like 2.5 glasses, right? It was not much. And then I have the other half. I'm just going to take my time sipping it. This is my way of manipulating myself to think I had 2 glasses when I really didn't. I was so pissed because earlier today when I went to go get some wine, I wanted that Tomasello wine. That's like one of the best cranberry wines I've ever had. And it sold out, so I was kind of pissed. I said, "Where's my wine at? Where?" And they're like, "I'm so sorry. We only have the Valenzo Winery one, and Valenzo is good, but I love Tomasello cranberry wine. I'm gonna look around for that wine after I finish this bottle because that's like one of the best. It's in a skinny bottle. It's a small amount, but that's all I need because I can't drink a lot anyways, So I figure I'll go and buy myself one of those bottles once I finish this one up. But it's going to take some time to finish this one up because, like I said, I can only have 1 5-ounce glass of wine now when I do have a drink. Unless they give me clearance, and that won't be until January, and they want to see my levels. Like see how my kidney levels are looking, So we'll see. But today I did work on my birthday. I took a video, so I'll post it up. They got me a nice little cake. My coworker Jennifer and her mother and brother came in. They surprised me, saying happy birthday. I felt so like surprised and loved. I was like, "Oh, you guys have to do that for me," but and they brought me some flowers, so I'll post it up too on that one. And yeah, I did. I worked on my birthday. I just said, I was out for 2 months. Might as well go ahead and go in. Normally, I take off for my birthday, but this year I was just like, nah, I'll use the vacation days for something else. And what else did I do today? And that's pretty much about it. Went out to dinner with hubby to the Italian restaurant. I still don't think it's as good as Mama Rose's restaurant. If only that restaurant was near me, but it's 40-something minutes away. I wasn't going to drive that far out. And what else? What else did I do today? I think, yeah, that's it. I mean, I had a lot of patients. Today we had a very, like 18 patients today we had to, take care of. So, kept me busy. That's about it. That's what I did for my birthday. I got a lot of gifts. So, I got a new bag, so I'm going to be cleaning out my bag tomorrow morning, and I really needed one too because the bag I have is very small, and sometimes trying to stuff things in there and I can't. But yeah, We're going to get to my birthday wish in a minute. What I wish for my birthday. And I can't believe I'm 36 years old. Four more years to 40. And then it's going to be my big 40. Now I got to definitely throw down on that day, on the 40th birthday. You know, got to definitely throw down on that one. But yeah, 36. And I'm like, oh my goodness, the years are just passing. My mommy, of course, she was like, I don't care what age you get, you'll always be my little baby. She still sees me as a little baby. Well, I mean, if you're a parent, you understand. You know, your kids, you never see them as like, you know, adults. You're always your kids, you know. But yeah, it's just, you know, it's hard for them to believe. Like, wow, time just flew by that fast. You know, I can't believe it. I felt like I turned 21 yesterday, you know, and it just flew like that. I'm like, oof, my parents weren't lying when they said that time will fly at like as soon as you hit your 30s. And it did. My 30th birthday felt like yesterday. Now 6 years later. That's just how fast it's going. I don't feel like I'm even getting much of. I don't feel like I'm getting much of my 30s in the beginning. I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of time in my 30s. I just feel like the time is going like this real fast. You know, like a snap of a finger. So that gets me to my birthday wish, you know, of what I thought about. Because, you know, the older, you know, I mentioned this before, in your 30s, these are the years where you're starting to become more set in your ways and become more set with your life and what you want to do. So, you know, I'm trying to get more set, find more stability, try and figure out what I want to do. Do I want to live here in Jersey? You know, do I want to move out of Jersey? I don't know. It depends on what God's will is for my life, but I don't know. I'm stuck on that because I do want to buy a house, but my fear is, what if I buy the house and then I want to get out of the state and I don't want to stay here no more? You know what I mean? Then you got to go and you have to sell it. And I never owned a home before, so I don't know nothing about home ownership. So I have to really do my research, you know? Sunshine. Gotta turn these lights off. I got my candle lit. Sunshine. I did have a little like pain, so I'm like, you know, first of all, I'm tired, but also I had some pain in the surgery site that I have. So like I said, I ain't gonna do no dancing tonight. I did dancing yesterday a little bit, and then I woke up with some pain near that surgery site. I think it's more of the nerves, you know. So I'm like, I'm not going to do too much moving around today. I'll dance in my bed. Do 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 weather all alone together. Brown thing, what found do 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 do. Another one that I like from Paul Hardcastle, I played it before, is Desire. That's another song, but I won't play it tonight because I played it a couple times on my past like jazz streams. So I figure I'd do this one today, Sunshine. Shadows. Oh. La, 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 la. Sunshine. Whew. The song gets you like gets you in a groove, but at the same time keeps you like very relaxed. Oh. Taking like very small sips of this. Mm. I hope that tonight when I go to sleep I don't get that pain anymore. But I think it was because I was dancing yesterday, because I was dancing a little too hard, and then I woke up with that burning like nerve pain there. I'm like, let's hope that it goes away. It's weird. Like I've had before, where I go to sleep and it's not all the time, but it's when I'm doing too much and then I go to lay down at night and then I wake up in the morning and I feel that pain. Right now I feel okay, but like early today, my God, I was like, ooh, I was hunching over. Let's just hope it's not a long-term nerve pain. Oh boy. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Sunshine. So fine. so far. After the song, I'll talk about my birthday wish. I like this song a lot. I love that guitar played into the mix there. It really brings out the song. Weather all alone together, sunshine beside me, around something found. Do 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 do. My sunshine. I can't believe this video is like 22 minutes. This song. Very long, extended song. Real life. You know, this song could make a really good love-making song if you think about it. It really would. I mean, you know, it's a little upbeat, but like, you know, like if you're like trying to have like, you know, passionate, you know, love-making, this is a really good song to play in the background. If you're having some really fun sunshine for you really are gonna have a really good amount of sunshine afterwards. Oh boy. But I think that's what the song was intended for. When I listened to it, it sounds like a song that people make like really hard, rough, passionate love making to, you know? When I think about it. I like it, of course, because it's very artistic and it has a jazz and a kick to it. Although it's jazz music, you can kind of dance to it, and it makes you feel relaxed. At the same time, I don't know how to explain it. I guess that's the art of music, right? There was a time when I was younger, I used to be able to dance for at least 6 hours straight. Isn't that crazy? Now I can't even do half of that. The most I probably can dance is for an hour is probably an hour straight to an hour and a half before I go crazy and fall out. So again, YouTube, that was Paul Hardcastle, Sunshine Extended Mix. Wasn't that a long song? So I wanted to talk about my birthday wish. And so my birthday wish. Well, my birthday wish, because I've said I was mentioning before I got into the song, that I'm 36 years old, and I'm not getting any younger, and I work very, 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 very hard. I work a lot, you know, between like right now I have 3 jobs right now. The third one is not like a tough job, but it's something I do on the side, temporarily, and then I go back to just my regular 2 jobs. And it's just a lot, me working a lot, and hubby, he just does his one job, it's full time, which is good. But my wish is that I can come to find a job or an occupation where I don't have to work like 40 hours a week. You know what I mean? I want to find a job where I can work 3 days a week, even if it means a longer shifts, like maybe 9 or 10 hours, maybe 12. It doesn't matter. But like more like 3 days a week, and I can make some decent kind of money. So that way I could be there to help out with my niece. My sister, she wants to go down 2 hours so she could be more home with the baby, to help out. And to be there to raise her, and possibly homeschool her, if she can't get her into a like a private school. And yeah, I agreed that hey, I wouldn't mind helping out. Not just that, if I end up having kids, I wouldn't trust anybody watching my kids. I would only want family watching my children. So like, me and my sister can work like 3 days a week, each one of us, and we could switch days. And that way we always have someone there for the babies and the kids, and we can take care of them. If they're homeschooled, I homeschool them 3 days a week and then go to work 3 days a week. And my sister, she will homeschool another 3 days and go to work another 3 days a week. So that way everybody is not getting burnt out, and the kids is getting educated, or they're getting taken care of. And that's my birthday wish. I really just want to be able to go down an hour, so that way I could be able to spend more time getting things done at home, and getting things done here, that I need to get done here at the house. find more time to invest in with my family and things, the wifely duties, and helping out with the babies. I've already said that, I have a lot of mixed emotions about having kids, but I'm, I at the same time, I'm going to give it a chance. I am nervous. Um, I am going to give it a chance, and hopefully I'll be able to move into a house sometime next year. You know, hopefully, because I'm not getting younger. I don't want to have kids past 40. I'll tell you that right now. And if it's God's will, it will end up happening. If not, then it's not His will. That's just it. I won't be having no babies. But I'm going to at least I'm going to give my mother-in-law at least one baby. I could tell she wants grandbabies. She wants a kid. My husband is the only son, and he has no siblings. He has no cousins. She has no nieces or nephews herself. So, she has no. She don't. She's not like she's gonna have a niece or nephew to have a baby for her to hold, like a great grandniece or a great grand a nephew. You know, so she, Matthew's her only hope for a baby, another one of us. So I'm like, I feel bad for her, and I'm like, well, I already know number one thing is if I have a child, I want to raise a child in the Lord. That's number one. And two, I mean, I will have a kid in the sense of, I'll give her at least one baby, at least one grandbaby. I think she'll be very, very happy and blessed. And not just that, my niece, she's by herself. She's 7 months right now, but I figure in another like year and a half, if I have a baby and it happens, she won't be too far off on age from the baby that I'll have. That she'll have someone that she can talk to. So now I'm like, okay, I know I had my recent surgery, so they said don't get pregnant within 6 months. And I mean, I ain't planning on getting pregnant in 6 months. Obviously not. But if I was to get pregnant, that's the soonest that I can get pregnant without being at risk. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not in a rush, but I got to also be careful to not get pregnant for that reason, because they said that you can't get pregnant for 6 months, and I'm like, okay, well, I got to be careful. You're still healing there. Um, yeah, I am quite nervous. I am very, very nervous, and I have a lot of anxiety about bringing a child into this world. But I know that if it happens, it's because it was God's will. You know, and I'm like, well, I'll at least give it a try because my mother-in-law. I mean, she deserves one little grandbaby, right? One little grandbaby. And my niece, she deserves a little cousin that she could talk to around her age. So, mom, kid, you gotta get to the work in. Gotta start eating healthy and getting him his vitamins for sperm. Oh boy. And I would want that night that I conceive a baby, to be a very special like night. And get the rest of this wine. I would want it to be like, a very like almost like a ceremony. Oh boy, I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't want to just get off in a few minutes and that's it, pregnant. Like, no, I would make it very special. Especially if I plan on having a baby, I want to conceive them in a lot of love and a lot of thought and plan. So I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, I just got knocked up with you just because, yeah, it was just a fast moment. Yeah, that was all it was. No, I want to put a lot of thought, love, and dedication into, you know, conceiving a baby. I don't want them to be like, oh well, yeah, my mom just got knocked up with me. That's it. No, I want them to. I want them to know that they were well thought out and planned. You know? You're like, no, no, you were well thought out and planned. So yeah, I'm like, oh, man, I mean, like, it goes by so fast these years. I remember when I was 20 something years old, I was like, I'm gonna have a baby at 25, and then I had the nephews. That changed my mind real quick. They were my boot camp for sure. But yeah, that's my wish. That's my birthday wish. I want to get things settled next year. I want to get more things set. I want my schedule to get more prioritized, like less with the hours, so I can spend more time. Spend more of my time doing things in the house and getting other things done in other areas of my life. And that includes the kids, helping out, because my sister and me already agreed, like, we can switch lanes and switch days and help out with the kids. And you same thing with my baby. She's gonna, if once my baby gets old enough, I may homeschool her or him, and they won't be going to school. And she's gonna be taking care of them, and then I take care of the kids, like maybe like 3 days a week or something like that. We just switch if we can't get them into private school or anything, because the way things are going today, the way the things they're teaching these kids are not really good. It's really disturbing. It's bad what they be teaching these kids now. So that's stuff that I worry about. So that's my birthday wish. Is get my life together in the sense of not having to work so much. So I can apply my time to other areas in my life. Yes. And that includes, if I'm going to have a baby, that includes having to have time to raise that child, you know, be able to, have that time to raise the child and, invest in them and not be so busy with a 40+ hour work schedule. Not just that, I like the idea of, being home, be able to get everything done. When I thought about this when I was on disability, um, I mean, this house was cleaner than ever. Like cleaner than ever. Dinner was always ready on time because I'm not working. So I was like, I would make a really good darn housewife. Not that I would want to stay as a housewife together, because I do like to work. I like to make some money and earn some stuff for myself. But like, it would be nice to just work 2-3 days a week and just be home to take care of the house and the kids and everything like that. But it depends, because my husband, doesn't matter how much he works, is not enough to just pay the bills here. So it's like I pray and hope that, that I get a job that where I can make enough to work just 3 days and just be like, oh, I don't have to work any more days than that, and I'll just try to live off what we can. Like, as long as it's enough to pay the mortgage, and once you get your house, that's it. You don't have to worry about saving up for a house. Just save up for emergencies. um just try to budget, and it's not like we eat out all the time. I cook, so it's not like we have to eat out and spend all this money out. So that's what I'm hoping. I really do hope that happens sometime next year. Not just that, but the doctor I'm working for, it seems like he's going to be retiring very soon and shutting the doors. So, I'm hoping around that time that'll be the time where I find something like that where I don't have to work as much. Well, we'll see. We will see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I couldn't think of anything else. I mean, there was something else I thought of, and I've mentioned it before, where I want to find a group, like a fellowship. There's a lot of false churches out there, and a lot more than what you think. Most of them are false, and they're not the church of God. So I really would like to find a fellowship and people that are like-minded, that I align with, to get together and form meaningful, deep, meaningful, healthy relationships with. You know, a lot of times and this is just based off of just my experiences and what I see from other people's experiences, that a lot of uh, relationships people form is based off of chemistry, and you can't base it off of chemistry because chemistry doesn't mean you share the same values or mindset, and that doesn't necessarily mean you're aligned. You could be a good hangout buddy. You can be able to go out together and have a good time and have fun, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you guys are in alignment. So this is something I also think about a lot too. I want to find a fellowship, people that are like-minded, children of God, that they're sober, they got their heads in the right place, you know, and some people that are genuine, genuine people that mean well, and they're in alignment, they have the same mindset, they understand, they get you and they understand you. You know what I mean? And people that have a goal to want to form meaningful, deep, healthy relationships. Because if anything, I've seen just too many toxic relationships, which I had to cut off. I like spinning this thing around. Oh boy. But yeah. Heck, that gets me thinking about some weird experiences that I've had throughout my life and in my relationships with people, you know? Oh boy. Which one should I start off with first? With some of my weirdest experiences with people and relationships. Well, I remember back, what year is this going into? 2010 into 2015, 2016. I used to have, there was this former friend I used to hang out with. And I don't know. She had the reason why I cut her off was because she had a lot of jealousy issues. So she was the type of person that, she gets jealous if you hang out with another friend and you didn't hang out with her. And it's like, look, I have a life separate from you. I'm going to turn this little person off. You got beat up enough from me today. She she just had a lot of jealousy issues, and I would even avoid posting anything I do, even if it was just one time. If I post where I'm at, I would beg my other friend not to do it, like don't post where we are. And I would say that because I knew that she was a jealous type. She was like possessive. So I would get very anxious, and so you were out at TGI Fridays yesterday, huh? And she would be acting weird and passive aggressive and strange and snippy with me because I was hanging with some other friend and not her. So it was just becoming too much for me, just just unbearable. Like I'm not used to that. My own husband ain't like that, and I'm not like that with my husband. So I don't expect my friends to be like that to me. It's like she wanted to be included in everything, and it's like, I have a life separate from you. I have other relationships besides you, and not everything includes you. And I'm sorry that hurts your feelings, but this is just the way it's going to be. Just because I'm friends with that person doesn't mean you're going to be good friends with them, because they may clash with you. And then I tried letting her come because I didn't like the idea that she was jealous, and I didn't want conflict. I hate conflict. So, anytime I see conflict, controversy, I want to snip it down real fast and quick. And it's like, I want to just shut it right down real fast. And I'm like, okay, how do I make a solution to this? I'll just have her hang out with me and my friend. Well, I had her hang out with me and my friend, the other one, and it just made things 10 times worse because she got extremely jealous by our connection. And this is why I say, just because, you work out with somebody doesn't mean that friend of yours is going to work out with them. So, she's upset. She's jealous because she sees, me and this other friend have a lot in common. And, you could see the jealousy and the rage starting. And, her getting how people get a jealous rage, they start acting crazy and all. And it just was too much for me. I couldn't deal with it anymore. And then one day, I went to the gym to go see my friend, and here she comes. She comes snooping in on me, and she was in the gym. She was working out, watching me at the gym. And me and the other friend is just sitting there, you know, on the treadmill. And I had no idea that she was sitting there watching me she was like pulling, those things where you pull and it's like a weight and you're pulling it with your arms. You're just sitting there watching me. And I was like, what is she doing here? She just got up. So I didn't know that you were here today. And I'm like, what are you doing here? I'm like shocked. I'm like, what is she doing here? Like, why did she like come here on a day that unannounced, like didn't tell me she was coming here? It was just, I felt like she started stalking me. So she was just being mean to the person I was talking to and the person's brother that was there. And she was being mean to me and she was trying to demand me, and I wasn't listening. So I was ignoring her, because I wasn't trying to make a scene while I was there at the gym, and people start questioning this. So I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I just was ignoring her, and I didn't like that she was mistreating the two people I was hanging out with, just too much jealousy issues. I couldn't deal with it anymore. It was just too unbearable for me. I just can't deal with that. I'm a free spirit person. Like that means like I ain't somebody who's bound like that. If I'm not bound in my marriage and I ain't in a jail cell in my marriage, what makes you think I'll be in a jail cell for a friend? I don't think so. But one of the weirdest things about that friend, though, and I'll tell you, oh my gosh, oh goodness, she, hey, no, to each their own. I can't, whatever you do as an adult is your own business, But she used to go on these websites and, she used to, play with herself, like play with herself on there, and she showed everything, and she told me about it. And I said, oh, what? I said, really? And, she was like, oh yeah, married couples on there too. You and your husband should go on there. I'm like, why is she trying to get me and my husband to go on a website and have live sex for people to watch? Yeah, married couples are on there. They all share their sexual experiences with each other. I'm like, she gotta be kidding me. Like, she wants me to go on there and join with my husband. I don't think so. I was just so silent. And then one day I went to her house and, she opens the drawer and there was a vibrator. I am not lying. She pulled it out and she pulled it out and it looked like there was like crust or something on it. And she was like, if you want to ever use my vibrator, you can. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I didn't want to hurt her feelings, and I just said, no, I'm good. I can always buy one from the store if I ever wanted to use one. Yep. No, why? Yeah, you can just use mine. Just wash it off and you can just use it and just return it to me. And I'm like, she got to be kidding me and asking me that. Oh my gosh. I mean, the weirdest thing ever. Come on now. You pull out a vibrator. There's crust on here. Oh boy. And she's like, you just wash it off and you could just bring it back. I just said, no, it's okay. I don't need to use that right now. If I want to buy one, I can, but thank you for offering. That's how I said it. And then the worst case was when I went to go help her because she was going to college and I did help her out at night, late nights. So what ended up happening was, I went there, it was like 11 o'clock at night. I was helping her I was doing it all for her. I was helping her out because she went to college online. And I would sit there and I would read stuff for her. I would do her homework. Like, no lie. I would do her homework. And one day the lady that I work with says, heck, it should have been you walking down the aisle graduating. And I just said, oh, well, I helped her out with a lot of stuff. I researched things for her. I helped her out. Now, I'm not saying I did every last homework for her, but I did a lot of it because her grades was going down. And so she was like, I really need help. Candace, I need your help. So, I, as a friend, I just went over there, helped her out. And I studied hard and I, try to help her out too, so she can get this grade up from D to like a C or a B. So one day I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay. She's like, okay, Candace, can you just watch this real quick, the screen? I got to do something real quick. And she got up. I'm just looking, researching, listening to the person on the other end. I think it was like the instructor or something. Because I remember there was like a live like instructor. And I remember like he would give them projects and stuff. And here she goes. She's pulling off her clothes. She's taking off her shirt. She's taking off her pants. So at first I'm thinking she's probably changing into a nightgown. Oh no. She's pulling off her bra. Boobs, double D kind of size milk jugs coming right on out. I mean, like, I am not lying. And then she pulled her panties down, and she was shaved. Like, I didn't see no hair there. I was just sitting there, stunned. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm like, well, what are you doing? And she's like, what? We're all women here. I mean, what's the problem? And I'm sitting there like, what is she doing, taking off her panties and her bra and everything in front of me and just standing there, just looking at me and says, what, we're all women, right? I just said, you know what? I just went back to the screen like, let me, get back to, this research here. And I'm just ignoring, like I feel like I don't see what's going on. And she's just still standing there. I'm like, I feel so embarrassed here. I felt uncomfortable, I mean, she only did it at one time. She never did it again. But it was just so weird. And then she went back over and I remember she got dressed and she told me about a friend of hers from the past. And I said, yeah, because as I'm listening, she tells me, I have a lot of jealousy issues. And I remember she said that to me. And I'm like, why is she telling me that? Because I wasn't thinking, I was doing this homework thing. I'm like, she says, I have a lot of jealousy issues. That's how my last friendship ended. And I said, oh, really? You had a friendship before this? And she said, yeah, I had a friendship a long time ago, but because of my jealousy issues, my friend stopped talking to me. And she said we couldn't be friends no more. So when she told me that, I was like, I wonder if she like trying to prepare me for something or what. I mean, I didn't know what she was trying to get through. And she still was just standing there naked. I'm like, put some clothes on, put those panties on. I want to see us bare naked, camel toe. Like she's just sitting there and there's nothing there. And I'm just like, yeah, she's telling me about her friend and she's just sitting there talking to me. I felt like I was in freaking nude island or something, like a nude colony there, Oh boy, oh man. And then I started realizing she started getting worse with the jealousy issues after she told me that. Like she started getting worse and worse and worse. I remember we went for a graduation and we went to another state because her college was out of state. That's why she was online. And she was going for business. So when I drove down there, I mean, she first took the Greyhound there. I drove a different day because I had to work. But I made it there, went to a hotel, and went to sleep. When I woke up in the morning, right, here she is. I mean, she was literally under the covers, right? And I'll show you what she was doing. So she was under the covers. I'll put this over here. And it was the weirdest thing. I said, what is she doing? And I'm sleeping and I wake, you waking up and you just opening your eyes. Oh gosh, this thing underneath. I'm trying to move this. Move. What is that? Oh, that's the sign. Move this. So, I'm sitting here laying in a bed and this is her under the covers, right? And, and this is her. She's like this. Just staring at me. And she's under the covers. That's exactly how she looked like. And she was sitting there like this, looking at me like this. And I said, I'm like staring at her, like, hey, good morning, whatever. Like, like, what is she doing? She's like, hey, good morning. And stuff. And, just sitting there. Like, I'm like, what the hell is she doing undercover? So I got up and I, tried to ignore her. I was like, she's making me feel weird. It was just weird. Like, she went through like these weird episodes sometimes, and like she would, like, she'll be normal and out of nowhere, she'll just have one of these weird days. She's just doing weird stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what she's doing under those covers, but she's looking kind of suspicious, like this, sitting there looking at you like this with one eye. I said, this is it. I mean, she was just weird. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm weird too, but there's a certain kind of weird that you just there's just some kind of weirds that you just want to kind of avoid. I'm weird in a fun way, but not in a creepy way. Like it was just a creepiness, like she would just switch. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I had great times with her. Like we used to go to Philadelphia, especially in the beginning of our friendship. We went to Philly. We used to go to like a lot of museums. We went to what is her name? Ross's house. What's her name? Oh man, I forgot her name. It's like it starts with R. Ross house. Went to Benjamin Franklin's house. We went to a certain grave there too. I think it was William Penn, if I'm not mistaken. So she had a lot of chemistry with me, which again, sometimes people think we have chemistry. Oh, we're gonna make great friends, but you're not aligned and you don't know people very well. So that's what happened. So we're like, oh, let's go to this history place, and she was really fun. But then, like when I started getting to know her more and getting more personal, she started getting stranger. And then the jealousy and rage started coming out with her. Like I was like, no, I cannot be having this. So one day I just cut her off. I said, we can't hang no more. I can't deal with these jealousy issues anymore and the weirdness. And so one day she drove up to my house and she was knocking and banging on my door, and she sent about maybe 50 messages to my family members on Facebook. I mean, oh boy, I mean, that was nuts. I just completely avoid her. I didn't want to talk to her no more. I said, nope, I'm done. I said, I can't do this no more. I just can't, because I could already see that she's not going to accept no as an answer, like, no, we cannot talk no more, be friends, you just got to be careful, especially people that have jealousy issues. You know what I mean? Because people that have jealousy issues, or they're possessive, if they lose you, and let's say you hurt their feelings and you say, no, I don't want to be your friend no more. I don't want to talk. They may kill you. You know what I mean? They may do something crazy because they're not thinking right. So, I just want to avoid her at all costs, and just don't speak to her again. I didn't answer the door or nothing. I just looked at her and I told my husband, don't park. I said, she's right here. I was on the phone with him. I said, yeah, don't park over there. I said, she's still standing here in front of the door looking for me. And so he was just driving around the block and like forever, just see, when is she going to leave? It's like, I don't know. She was there for a long time, just standing there, and I did not answer the door. So after that, I think she got the hint, like, she's not going to answer the door. She's not going to talk to me. I stopped. I didn't really go to the gym too much anymore. I was worried that she may try to come up there, but she stopped coming up there after that. She only came that one time to snoop on me to see what friend I was hanging out with. I mean, it was like a freaking jealous boyfriend. I mean, like, it was really crazy. I mean, I said, never again. Cut her off. And then I don't need to go into my 13-year friendship, that one that I cut off. I already spoke about her. I mean, she wasn't like that with jealousy issues like that, but she had her own set of issues that I had to cut her off. And what's another weird experience I've ever had in my life? Oh, I used to work with this woman, right? And I think she was like 67, almost going into her 70s. And I remember she used to wear a diaper on, and she used to always have issues. And, she would limp into the back, because this is when I worked at Burger King. I was young then, like 18, 19, 20 years old. And she would be in the back cooking. And one day I talked to her because her daughter worked there. She came out of nowhere one day, and she said to me a story about her younger days. She was like, I used to be a wild girl back in the days. And I said, really? She says, yeah. She says, oh man, I used to get it on. And I was like, oh, okay. And she says, you know how I conceived my daughter? And I said, your daughter? Oh, and I was like, why is she bringing up how she conceived her daughter? And she said that she conceived her daughter in the bathroom, in a bathroom stall. I said, my mouth just went like, oh, really? Like I didn't know what to say. Wow. That's all I could say. She was like, yeah, I conceived her in the bathroom stall. That's how I ended up pregnant with her. I screwed this guy in the bathroom, and that's how I ended up pregnant with her. And I just said, oh, okay. I'm like, why is she telling me these things? I swear I track the most weirdest, craziest people sometimes. It was just so vague and random, and I'm like, okay, why are you telling me this, And then one day she came back. She told me another thing. She says, guess what? I got a boyfriend now. I said, oh, really? I said, wow. And I'm thinking as a guy, maybe her age, maybe in the 60s or 70s, maybe older. She tells me he's 20 years old. I said, what? 20 years old? He says, yeah, he's 20. He's a good looking man. Yeah. Oh man, he is something else. I didn't think he was going to be with me. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what is she doing for a 20-year-old to be with her? So then she comes back and she tells me what she does with him. And she was saying that she was sucking his pee-pee and I mean, I don't know. Like every single time she had a new story for me. And then what made it even worse and very, very tabooish was when she came to me and she said, guess what? I slept with him and his father. I said, what? I said, no. I'm like, why would, why would you do something like that? She says, yeah, I gave it to him and his daddy. And the way it sounded is as if she's saying like she was doing them both, taking turns. I said, that is very like disturbing. I'm telling you, like that was like one of the most disturbing things I probably ever heard. Like a father son screwing this lady in her 60s and I mean, like I couldn't wrap my head around anything. I said, what is going on here? And I'm like, why is she only telling me these things? I don't see her telling anybody else these things. It's always me. I'll be sitting there just minding my business, cooking and doing something. Here she comes. Guess what, Candace? I'm like, is everything? Yeah, what happened? And I already knew it's probably gonna be something weird. And she'll tell me some crazy thing. I mean, but that was one of the craziest there. I'm telling you, I'm like a freaking magnet when it comes to weird people. I mean, I'm not weird like that, weird, but I mean, even at work, I've mentioned this before where I currently work, that one time there was this person, this was going back like almost like 7 years ago. This person calls up, they're having problems with their stools and they send pictures in black and white, 21 pictures of their defecation. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like why are they sending this? And they wanted to know if their stool looked normal. So I passed it by, the doctor come back, say everything looks fine. You're good. And the person didn't want to hear that. You know what they said? Oh no, you know what? I have to rescind those pictures because you're not looking at those pictures good enough. There's something wrong with me. They need to be in color. I said, no, you don't have to do that because he already saw it. She said, oh no, I'm going to send it. And she sent it through mail and it was in color, 21 pictures now, this time in color. And I mean, at this point, the doctor was like, what, this is, like people start thinking, is this some kind of game or joke? And I said, oh no, this person is really serious. They want to know if their poop is normal, He says, yeah, everything looks fine. So I let that person know everything looks fine. There's nothing wrong with you. You are absolutely fine. And she says, I just don't think you guys have seen those pictures clear enough. She says, you know what? What's your cell phone number? I said, I'm not allowed to give my cell phone number out to people. That's, because that's, we're not allowed to do that. That's personal numbers. And she says, yeah, but I need to send you these pictures again. I said, no. I said, these pictures right here are good enough. I need to really send these pictures to you. If you could just give me a cell phone, I will send them to you, because on a cell phone is a little bit more clearer. You'll be able to see them a lot better than you do on those photos. I said, okay, you know what? I said, okay, look, let me talk to the doctor, okay? I'm not allowed to give my phone number out to anybody. after that, I told him, I said, don't even call back. He says, just don't even call back. I mean, I get the craziest ones. I really do. I don't know what it is, you know. Maybe they know that they can. Maybe they feel comfortable talking to me or something. I don't know. But I mean, I couldn't believe that after the 21 pictures being sent in black and white and in color, you want to send it to my phone now, my personal phone, and it's my phone. It's not like, okay, I can see if she says I want the phone number to whoever's reading or looking at these pictures to evaluate it. She wanted to send them to me. I said no. I said I said I can't do that. That says my personal phone number. You know, I said, well, these pictures look very well. We were able to see through it. She was just so badly wanted someone to see these pictures. And it just, and if you told her there was nothing wrong, it didn't matter. And she said she wanted to send them to your phone. 21 pictures. Imagine that, 21 pictures of poop popping up on your phone, and you're sitting there with your husband or wife, and it's out of nowhere, you see some pictures popping up. You're going to think, what the hell's going on here? Oh my gosh. You think that your man is a freak or something. What the hell's going on? What you not telling me? Oh my gosh. I mean, that was something else. That really was. I mean, there's other stories I could tell, but it would take a novel for me to tell some of these stories I tell people, that I came across over the years. Oh boy. I mean, it really, it's weird, Oh my goodness. Oh, I mean, I've came across so many weird people, you know? And the crazy part is that some of them ain't scared to risk anything. I don't know. I remember this man we used to call Mr. Godzilla, and he was another one. We ended up discharging him though, but he had a wife. I remember he had a wife, and he came in with a cane every day, and he didn't really speak very good English, right? So when he talked to me, act like he couldn't hear you, like he couldn't understand you. And you'd be like, no, you're coming back on this day. And he's like, what? Like he can't understand you. So, you don't get mad at the person because you're like, okay, they probably just don't understand what I'm saying. But one day, I was checking them out and giving them papers, and he says to me, do you know any girls that can give an old man a good time? Now, he said that perfectly well with no problem. I'm like confused, like, what? I'm sorry, I don't understand. I'm gonna act like I don't understand you. So I was playing dumb, like I didn't understand what he was saying. And then he said, you like sex? He said, do you like sex? And I just said, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Here's your name. You put your name on here. Put your name on the card. And asking if I like sex. And I'm like, I don't give my name, but I don't understand what you're saying. Like I was trying to make it seem like we had a language barrier issue. I was like, I am not about to speak to this man. And I mean, I understand he's on a cane and he's old, and I'm not trying to get him in trouble, but he is giving me the creeps right now. So then after that, he started coming to the office for stupid stuff, like asking for refills when he didn't need it. And he would be looking over the corner, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And one day he said a perverted joke to me and my coworker, like in a way where it was like on the download, but you couldn't like accuse him of anything. How people say things in a way where they're trying to get a point across, but they say it in a way that people can't really catch on to it very easily. That's what he did to us. So we were sitting there, and we were checking him out, and he says to us, he says something about my acne. I remember that. And I think that's around the time that I went off a little bit off my acne meds. And he says, you need to go to the dermatologist. You gotta take care of that and stuff. I said, yeah, I'm just ignoring him. I know about my skin troubles, and I'm already like freaked out about him, So he gives me the creeps. So he says, you gotta use a cream, right? So he brings up about cream. And I said, yeah, I know about those. Yeah, the dermatologists, they prescribe them. And he says, you can use her cream. And he points to my coworker. You can use her cream. And he gives a look like that. And I said, oh no, he did not. I said, oh, and she caught onto it. She's like, did he just say something nasty to us? And he walked up. Have a good day. And he walks out. I say, you know what? I said, this man is dirty. Okay. He got a dirty mind. Okay. He talking about I can use her cream. You know, where we're going here. So he's saying in a way where, and so he's saying in a way where he can get away with saying something nasty. And if somebody says, what are you talking about? I didn't do nothing nasty. I didn't say nothing perverted. All I said was that she could use her cream. You know, I'm sure she's a woman too. She got creams, I'm sure, for her face. That's not how he meant it, though. I mean, my coworker was just sitting there like, what? I forgot what happened to him. He ended up getting discharged for something. I don't know what he did, but they ended up getting rid of him. But he was weird. And I mean, I understand he's old. He's in the 70s. You know, he's from another country. Maybe in that country they talk to women like that. I don't know. I'm not saying it's okay to talk to women like that, but I just think that he just doesn't. I just think he was so used to doing what he did over there, and he just was forgetting he's in America, you know, and he's, you know, he was close to 80 something years old. He was like 79. So I was like, well, I ain't trying to get an old man locked up for sexual harassment now. Like, you know, but this is crazy, you know? Oh, he got a wife. I'm looking up on the thing. I see he got a wife and everything. I'm like, what the hell? And I was so happy when they discharged him. Not because I'm happy to see people lose their treatments and all, but he was just making me uncomfortable. You know, I didn't even know how to break that down to say, like, this old man is saying nasty things, because then sometimes you say things people they don't believe you, and they say, oh no, not him, he's a very sweet gentleman, he's a very nice guy, you know, I know him, he's cool, you know, he doesn't do nothing wrong. You know, that's how people are. You tell them something, they're like, yeah, but he said some things. Oh, you're taking it the wrong way, Candace. You know, that's happened to me where I've told people something and they didn't believe me, and they'll think that I'm just making stuff up. Oh, it's just you don't like that person, that's what it is. No, this is what this person really does, you know. So sometimes you tell people things, you tell them the truth, and they don't believe you. So, you know, I know that one time I said, there's something about that person I don't really feel comfortable. Oh, he is a nice person. He's a nice, really nice gentleman. He's a nice guy. You know, yeah, you know, and you're like, oh, damn, you know, like, how do I say this without making it seem like I'm accusing somebody falsely of something? Because I'm not, you know. So it's just like, just kind of shut my mouth, because I didn't want to make it seem like I'm just making a big deal of something. But a lot of people are like that, believe it or not. You tell them something and they just don't believe you. I was so glad though when they discharged us. Like, good, I don't have to deal with it, you know. Oh boy, I mean, that was something else. Oh man, oh gosh. And you know, like I said, he was an old man, so you feel like you're like, oh, I don't want to have to get an old man in trouble, but my goodness, my gosh, you got a perverted mindset. Oh gosh. Oh goodness. But yeah, those are some of my weird experiences with people when it comes to relationships and people I've came across, you know. Those are at least some stories I have for the night. True stories. But turn this light on here. That's all I have for tonight. If I had to tell you how many weird stuff I've came across throughout my lifetime, would take a freaking novel. I do want to do like an actual freestyle story time, but I'll have to do it when I have a little bit more time. You know, I'm always busy all the time, and there's something I have in my mind that I want to do a freestyle story on, and it's been coming to my mind, but I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give out too much details. But yeah. Should I play an old video of mine, a little throwback before I leave? I said I was thinking about that too. You know, something that's like a throwback. Let's see. I'm looking at some of my oldest videos. Can't believe, like, it's been like 8 years since I've been streaming here on YouTube. I'm going to go on to one of my profiles here that I put my old videos on. Now, some of my videos I've always kept, and a lot of my videos I've deleted. So the ones I kept, I put a lot of them on private, and some of them I've copied and put them onto my other channel, my backup channel. Let me see if I can get it. Oh, let me see if it'll let me switch account. Let's see if I can get this up. I want to get this video here. This thing is so slow. I want to get this up, but it's moving slow for some reason. Let me go to my channel. Let me go to my channel. Okay. I'll go to my channel. I want to see an old video of mine from back in the days, with my early streaming years. Yes. I have a couple of things. This is older. Let's see if I can get something with me and my sister. Let's see. Maybe I got it on videos. It's got to be on here. It was one with me and my sister. Easter night. Yeah, this is it. Me and my sister. Let me see if I can share this. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I just it's a throwback video. Easter night. This was April 1st, 2018. Put this on pause real quick. Oh my gosh, even the video itself and quality looks kind of blurry. Let me see if I can share this. I'm going to share this. Share screen. Okay. There it goes. This is me and my sister, Easter night. Easter night. And I'm going to play it. So this.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. This is Candace. This is my sister, Sassen. We are here to talk about Easter night, and we're gonna do. We drunk a lot of wine. Yes, we were really drunk. Not really drunk, but I'm over exaggerating, but a little tipsy. Let's just put it that way. And we're gonna have some fun. Hey, Paul. Hi. Meow. This is
me and my sister. That's like the very beginning when we started doing the streams.
Yes.
My nephews at the time, they had to been
We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. So some girls.
Because that's what 2018. My nephew
was
born in
903.
2010.
Yes.
We had to been 8, and my other nephew had to been.
We just want to be loony tonight.
Around,
that's all we want to do.
What is it? 5
Our
at
whole
the time.
family left us, so we're like, oh.
Yeah. Now he's 15.
Can you
he's
tell
15
the
years old, my nephew.
Can you tell we're sisters?
It's crazy how fast time flies.
I don't have eyebrows, so. Usually I draw them on.
Let's see if I go up a little bit. quality of the video is like so blurry.
Put them in the room. And she turned the light off and sing a creepy song.
Yeah, we were singing in some parts of the video.
A lot more entertainment, a lot more Google Hangouts, you know. Boy.
Easter night, I remember that night. I was very tipsy that night.
Let's see what they said. He said, "Okay, hi, Candy," and says, "Hello," and it says, "Okay, cool."
Yes, baby.
So let's.
Yeah, I'll switch.
Oh, Jen's my.
Okay.
She's probably sleeping. Oh, say hi for the camera. This is my brother-in-law.
Blow this candle out. Let me drink some water here. Okay.
My kids. I have 2 kids. Yes.
I'll be going to bed myself in a few minutes.
I'm still childless. Yep, I have 2. He said, "R. Kelly, what the Mariah Carey? We'll sing Mariah Carey, but we ain't singing R. Kelly." Oh boy. I watched you, Shannon. What, R. Kelly? You like R. Kelly? Yeah. Paul, that's good. Yeah, Paul likes R. Kelly. Yeah, R. Kelly's pretty cool. But we couldn't sing R. Kelly. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we could sing R. Kelly.
Time flies.
Thank you.
But yeah, this is Easter night
Right, so
4118. That's going back almost 8 years ago.
He like screams.
What's that? Oh.
All right, we gotta sing a song. Whatever you want to sing. Okay, so we gotta sing something really good. We have to sing something that's maybe a solo. A solo. Do you know? I'm trying to think. Do you know not R. Kelly? I'm like thinking of R. Kelly all of a sudden. I'm thinking of That Body's Rolling Me. The body's rolling. Is that what I thought it was calling for? My body's rolling for you. I don't think it's rolling for nobody. I don't think anybody's body's rolling anywhere. I got the lyrics mixed up. I'm sorry, guys. Too much wine. Yeah, we had too much. I don't know. You sing a song. I don't really know. You like older music. Yeah, old music. So since I'm old school woman here.
I remember that shirt. I got rid of that shirt. I had donated that.
You know, Roberta
It's one of my favorite ones I used to wear.
That song. You gotta sing it. Let me kind of get it up here real quick. What Mariah Carey song? If you give me a Mariah Carey song, we can try it. Body's rolling for me. Body's rolling for me. Nice. You don't want to put no thoughts in my head now. I know. You know how I get. Crazy. Yeah. Really loony and really crazy. Somebody save me. Okay, so let's think of a song here. An old school song.
Let me drink some of my water here.
I don't really know which one. I'm trying to figure out what Mariah Carey song we can sing that's together. I don't know. He said "Obsessed with Me." That song. That song. Why you so obsessed with me? That one. I don't even know the words or the lyrics to that. I just know why you so obsessed with me. Oh boy. Someone said no, not her, please. Paul, that's Paul. Okay, Paul, we will not sing that.
Yeah, I think we streamed for like 30 minutes that night. Yeah.
You make me feel brand new. Sing again. For God bless me with you.
I can't really hear it, of course. I don't know if it's because I'm running 2 things at once.
I sing this song for you. You make me feel brand new.
Oh boy. So yeah, that was a throwback video. What is going on with this thing? Hold on. At stage. There it goes. I don't know why I did that. Slowly out. So yeah, so that is a throwback video of mine from my other channel. And I have a lot of old videos on there that I keep for memories. It's like a journal. And I was going back Easter night. Yeah. That was like very, very beginning streaming years. I came a long way. I really did. Came a long way. I a lot of videos that, that I did not choose to keep, I deleted them because, there are people on there that, I don't, talk to anymore. So I just don't want any kind of ties, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't want nothing being brought up or names being brought up or anything being brought up from the past. Like, sometimes you place, let's say you place something or you have a video of somebody from your past and people go in there and say, hey, whatever happened to such and such? You'd be like, then they're kind of opening doors for you to discuss it. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, then somebody said, oh, guess what? They're talking about you and stuff. And you'll be a whole mess, So I'm just like, I just kind of cut the rope, like, so that way there is no connections. So those videos, I deleted most of them, I think there's only a few videos left where I have like people on the panels and I put them on private. And I think they're from like 2019. I think it was like me and Penchy and a few other people that I still talk to. If I come across them, I say hi to them. But, there's a video of us together. There's a video, I think, where it was me and EQ, Ginger, and I kept that video, but I kept it on private. Because after a few years or so, you just put it on private. It's too many videos, You just leave it as a memory. But most of them, I deleted. Yeah. I just said, with the scissors, like cut, so that way there's no discussion whatsoever about anything, that I've put to rest. So that's it for today. My birthday wishes, my some of my weirdest experience stories, and a throwback vid. I hope that sooner or later I will be able to dance without having to feel that pain. I mean, I felt good the other time I was dancing, but for some reason I didn't. After I finished dancing last night and go to lay down, I felt that pain there. I'm like, what the heck? Jeez, not being very nice to me. But God bless everybody. Have a good night. Take care, and bye-bye.